ho, happy new year. I can't believe we are almost done 2023, about to start 2024. For those of you who are still doing some shopping, not sure what to buy for your loved ones, I've got a great idea for you. I've got these two great listings. Bungalow detached just came on the market. I'm going to post all the details below, but if you're looking for main floor living with a master bedroom, 4-piece bath, the place has been updated throughout, 2 additional bedrooms in the basement. Check that out. Pass it on to your friends, family, whoever you feel may benefit from that information. On the other hand, if you want more of a turnkey living, over at Garmer Street, I got an absolutely gorgeous unit with a huge patio space. I've never actually seen a space as big as this one on the market there. Got the pools, got the gym, got the rooftop little basketball pad, you name it. Check out all the details, and please pass this information on to your loved ones. A great Christmas gift to start the new year. All right, let's get into the real estate market update here. I'm going to be looking today at some updates we recently received from CREA, and then of course our local board, and then here at Peak, our own little data. And the big thing we're looking at here is CREA mentioned that we are seeing the buyers are in hibernation mode, which is pretty evident. We've got the sales numbers are down, so the volume of sales are definitely on the down, and the inventory does seem to be on the rise. Here's some stats, some pictures that they've given to us. But what I'd like to draw your attention to, if you do a deeper dive, you kind of almost have to look past this larger graph that looks all the way back to 2018, but look more in the last year or so, and you'll notice that yes, our sales went way up, as you can see earlier this year. So even though we were quite high, they turned around, went quite high, and that was quite nice to have. But if you look at the drop in the inventory, the increase in inventory, it's on par with where we were last year. So it's not really much different. It's really, I would say, very much seasonal. So just like last year, I know we had a lot of buyers saying, you know what, I'm going to hold off, Dan. Market's going down. I'm going to wait out. And then what we saw in 2023, once we got into May, the sales jumped way up again, and of course the inventory dropped off. I suspect we're seeing very much a repeat of that whole system where the sales are dropping, inventory is rising, and we'll probably most likely this spring see something similar. Likewise, if you go over to the Waterloo Real Estate Board, they've mentioned here that the November cooling month, it was much slower in sales. And interesting enough, though, despite the slowing, and if you've gone ahead and read that report, and I'll go ahead and post all this information in my newsletter for you to review, but what's very interesting is that despite the drop in sales, our sale prices are actually showing, according to the board, a little bit higher than where they were this same time last year. So it does show that, with the mortgage rates, jumping, kind of dropping and then rising again, volumes dropped, but they haven't dropped significantly beyond where they were at this exact same time last year. So for those of you that are perhaps savvy buyers, it might be a great time for you to buy. Much like Warren Buffett says, when everybody else is not buying, that's when I buy. When everybody else is buying, I decide to hold back on the sidelines. So right now, something to think about. And lastly, I'll just look into the peak real estate trend here. And same thing, you got to be careful looking at any particular product, any particular month, because you are going to see highs and lows and whatever's going on there. So I like to look at the bigger trend. And if you're looking at this graph, I think this is a great graph, you can see that after the 2022 spike in volumes, average sale prices, we dropped off significantly with the Bank of Canada increasing those rates. A bit of a flutter here, but it continued to go down right into the fall. And that was kind of the low. If you kind of look, it's kind of hard to see here, but I believe it was November of 2022, December. And then little by little, it started to creep back up to the point of about May. We reached our high once again. Then once again, the Bank of Canada announced rate hikes, and we saw everything start to taper off. But this also has to do with seasonal drop-offs. We do typically drop off in the summer months. Not always. There are exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, we do drop off. And if you look at these graphs on both ends, right now it's kind of our low, very much exactly on par with where we were this time last year. Over in this other graph, a great job of showing us the inventory, okay, and how long houses are staying on the market. Same type of thing. We saw the housing market staying kind of high, and that dropped off, right? The list of sale prices increased, so the volume, the prices increased. The days on the market dropped off, and now we're starting to see these homes increase for how long it's taken to sell. So again, if you are a buyer, this may be a great opportunity to look. But just like the stock market, be careful, be savvy. Not everything's going to go up. Okay, let's talk about mortgages. As everybody knows, real estate and mortgage borrowing costs directly impact the value of real estate and where things are going to go there. So where are things going to go in the new year? What are we looking at? I like to track a lot of different platforms and get articles from many different sources. And one of those sources is from a company in the U.S. And I know here in Canada things are different than the U.S., but we do often tend to follow in sync with our American cousins to the south. So this article here makes kind of reference to where these guys think things are going to go on the U.S. end. And as you can see, they're thinking that the first part of 2024, we're going to continue to see a bit more of that downward slide in the average sale price of homes. But as we progress into the third and fourth quarter of the year, we're going to see values start to rise. I think we'll see a little bit different here in Canada, but more or less exactly the same thing. Wintertime, usually a little bit of a slowdown that will probably persist, but I think some optimism is going to come back into the market. So talking about mortgages, further down here, they do get into the housing loans, and they discuss what has transpired in the last 3-4 weeks, where, as many of you have probably already heard, the Bank of Canada, much like the U.S. Bank, the Fed Bank, has opted not to increase the rates. That's great for those of us who have a variable mortgage where it tends to fluctuate with the Bank of Canada's rates, or are planning to get into a variable. But those of us who have a fixed mortgage coming up or plan to get into a fixed mortgage, what the central banks do doesn't actually impact where your mortgage rate is going to be. It's actually the bond market. So what's really, really quite interesting is that as the bond markets have actually increased recently, we've seen the yields start to drop. And so this same type of article, there's some points here, and I'll maybe post some of that information further down in my newsletter, but there it is for you. You can see that we've seen a 0.69% drop since about October on the U.S. side, and very much so on the Canadian side. The stock market is the stock market. It seems like there's no borders, or the borders, are very fluid, impacting whatever happens on either side of the border there. So the great news is, for anybody looking to buy a home or have a mortgage come due soon, the mortgages are finally starting to go back in a direction which is much more favorable to yourself. So by all means, give me a call. Let me know if you've got a mortgage coming up, or you're looking to refinance, consolidate debt, whatever else, and let me see what we can do. I do find a lot of my banks aren't the most competitive places to put our mortgages with. So give me a call and we'll see what may be a good fit for yourself. And in line with the mortgage rates, the talk on the streets are that the summer, possibly fall, we'll start to see those rates start to drop. I suspect we'll see the bond market and the yields perhaps hopefully drop as well up until that point, which again I think will bring some steam back into the market, which would be just great for all of us there. Okay, so I'm wishing all of you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for taking the time to review this update. It's the season to enjoy time with loved ones and just to get out and relax. If you have some free time and you're looking for something a little different to do this year, I was just going to share with you our church at Grand River Baptist, and I'll post some information for you down below there, but they are doing a little play for anybody that may be interested. I had a sneak peek of the band, or the orchestra, I should say, this last Sunday, and wow, it was unbelievable. I'm not privy to this kind of music on a regular basis, especially being live. It is a free event, so there's the hours for you. So if you're free, you have loved ones, friends you like to hang out with. In real estate, we always say the key to buying real estate is location, location, location. Well, what's one of the key factors behind that location? It is a great community. What makes a great community? Obviously, community halls and events, and I like to think churches have a big part of that. They contribute to a nice environment where we all want to live. So this season, if you have some free time, by all means join us at this event. And I do know there's many other great free plays and whatever else going on out there. So jump on some websites, check them out, do a Google search, or feel free to reach out to me and I'll share with you whatever I have. Okay, wishing you and your loved ones a very Merry Christmas and all the best for the new year.